Welcome to Midnight Signal AI. It's April 18th, 2026, and tonight we're diving into a day packed with high-stakes meetings at the White House, Elon Musk's bold proposal for a universal high income, Meta's looming layoffs, and some rapid shifts in AI security and verification. Here's what you need to know.
Yeah, the pressure's been building across the AI world, from government pushback to industry shakeups. Let's get right into the biggest headlines.
Let's kick off with Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei making a high-profile visit to the White House, as reported by the Washington Post. The urgency? Mounting fears that their new Mythos AI model could be vulnerable to hacking and misuse, potentially even by state actors. Security concerns are at the center of these talks, with the administration focusing on how to preemptively address risks from cutting-edge AI.
It's pretty rare to see this level of direct engagement between a top AI CEO and the White House, outside a crisis. What's unique here is that it's not just about hypothetical risks. There's chatter that Mythos is advanced enough to be weaponized if it falls into the wrong hands. That's got the government scrambling to figure out oversight, even as the tech keeps moving faster than policy can catch up.
And it's not just the White House. According to the Wall Street Journal, Amodei's also been in talks with Trump administration officials, signaling a thaw in what's been a tense relationship between Anthropic and some policymakers. The political dimension is unmistakable. Both parties are now vying to influence how these frontier AI models are handled.
That's a big shift. It's almost like Mythos has forced a bipartisan pause on the usual AI bickering. It shows how seriously everyone's taking these new models, not just as business opportunities, but as national security issues. Reuters adds that the discussions aren't just about risk, but also about how the White House and Anthropic might collaborate to manage these threats together. We're seeing a new kind of public-private partnership forming in real time.
Exactly. And Fortune reports that the White House Chief of Staff is personally involved, underlining the gravity of the situation. The sense is that the stakes with Mythos are higher than anything we've seen with previous models, and that means more direct government intervention could be on the table soon.
Switching gears, the other big story of the day is Elon Musk's push for what he's calling universal high income as a solution to mass unemployment caused by AI, covered across several outlets including the New York Post, Yahoo News New Zealand, GV Wire, Bitcoin News, and Reason magazine. Musk is arguing that as AI automates more jobs, governments should provide regular cash payments to everyone to keep the economy afloat.
But the reaction from economists has been, let's say, skeptical at best. Many are pointing out that Musk's proposal lacks specifics: how much money, who pays for it, and how it would actually address displacement at the scale AI could bring. Reason magazine even called it a mistaken call, questioning whether it's actually feasible or just a Silicon Valley fantasy.
Still, Musk's idea is getting traction in tech circles, partly because he's not wrong about the scale of potential disruption. The question is whether a universal high income is the right fix, or if it's just the latest in a series of grand proposals that sound good on paper but are hard to implement in reality. Either way, this debate is only going to heat up as more jobs become vulnerable to automation.
On a related note, Meta is making headlines again for all the wrong reasons. The International Business Times UK and The Times are both reporting that Meta is preparing to lay off up to a tenth of its workforce. That's roughly 8,000 jobs, with AI-driven automation cited as a major driver.
It's a tough look for Meta. Even though they're not struggling financially, they're still cutting deep. It's another sign that big tech isn't immune to its own innovations. The narrative is shifting from AI creates new roles to AI accelerates consolidation and redundancy, and workers across the industry are feeling the squeeze.
Analysts say these layoffs could be a bellwether for the rest of the tech sector. If Meta can justify cuts this size in the name of AI efficiency, you can bet other companies will follow. The question is, will we see any meaningful retraining efforts, or is this just the start of a much wider wave of job losses?
Speaking of jobs and automation, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang weighed in today, as reported by TechNetBook. He's making the case that adopting AI is now essential for professional success. Basically, if you're not working with AI, you're falling behind.
It's a message we've heard before, but coming from Huang, it carries extra weight. NVIDIA's chips power much of the AI revolution. He's arguing that the key to surviving and thriving in the automated workplace is embracing these technologies, not resisting them. That's both a challenge and an opportunity for millions of workers.
Right, but it's also a bit of a double-edged sword. Not everyone has access to the kind of training or resources needed to become AI fluent. So as tech leaders push for upskilling, there's a risk that the digital divide gets even wider unless companies and governments step in to help people transition.
Let's pivot to security. Ars Technica reports that Grinex, a U.S.-sanctioned currency exchange, claims to have lost $15 million in a major cyber attack, and they're blaming unfriendly states for the hack. They say the tools used were only available to nation-state actors.
That's a reminder that AI's risks aren't limited to the job market or misinformation. As financial systems go digital and AI-powered, they're becoming bigger targets for sophisticated cyber attacks. Attribution is always tricky, but if state-linked actors are using advanced tools, that's a wake-up call for regulators and businesses alike.
In the world of digital identity, Sam Altman's project World is gearing up to scale its human verification empire, according to TechCrunch. Their first big partnership? Tinder. The goal is to use World's verification tech to make sure users are actually human and not bots, a growing problem as AI-generated profiles become more convincing.
It's a logical first step. Dating apps are ground zero for identity fraud and fake profiles. If World can prove its system works at scale with Tinder, it could quickly become the go-to solution for online platforms battling bot armies. But there's always the privacy question: how much data is being collected and who controls it?
And on a related note, TechRadar reports that a Sam Altman-backed firm is predicting Face ID-style security could soon be obsolete thanks to AI's ability to mimic and spoof facial features. That's a real red flag for everyone relying on biometrics for security.
Yeah, if AI can break facial recognition, we're going to need entirely new methods for personal security, and quickly. This just shows how the arms race between attackers and defenders is accelerating as AI becomes more capable.
All right, that's a wrap for tonight's top AI news. From high-stakes government meetings to seismic shifts in tech workforces and digital security, it's clear that artificial intelligence is reshaping every layer of society, and it's not slowing down.
We'll be watching how these stories develop, especially the ongoing government-industry talks and the implications for jobs, privacy, and security. Stay tuned. This is one of those weeks where the headlines are just the beginning.
Stay sharp. The future doesn't wait.